Are you dreaming of a private golf community without the downtown prices? This club may be the one for you. We're hopping out to Lakeway, just 20 miles west of Austin, to talk about the Hills and Flintrock Falls today. This area is known for its proximity to Lake Travis, good schools, great golf courses, and a friendly community vibe. So if you're looking for a town that has convenience to Austin but still has that small town feel, this could be the one for you. Hi, I'm Nicole Cooper, and I've been helping people buy and sell homes for over a decade in the Central Texas area, and I played golf for the University of Texas, so when someone expresses interest that they want to live on the fairway, I certainly know what that means. So today, we are talking about living on the fairway at the Hills and Flintrock Falls. There are more details to discover in this video, so stick around, you don't want to miss it. We're going to start right now. First of all, we're going to start with the map and show you where it is, and then I'm going to show you the hot spots, tell you about the school, show you the pros and the cons, so you can get to know the entire community to know whether it's the right one. So when we dive in here into the map, you can see here is Lakeway out here, and here's downtown Austin. It's straight out to the west about 20 miles. It makes the perfect little suburb. Far enough to get away from the hustle and bustle, but yet it still has all of its own shopping, dining, schools, everything that you need. So you could live out there completely, but if you wanted to come into Austin for those special theater events, maybe the big UT Longhorn football games or the Austin FC soccer, you're not that far away. It's still a doable commute to do something fun in the town of Austin. While we're here on the map, I want to show you where the schools are. Here is the Hills Country Club right here, and Lakeway Elementary is just out the front gate, not too far away at all. Then, if you're going to middle school, you would be feeding into Hudson Bend Middle School, which is a little bit further north out towards Apache Shores. And here's a cute picture of what it looks like inside the Hudson Middle School. Then we hop back down here to the south side. That is Lake Travis High School, and here's a really nice picture of it from the front. And of course, we can't go without mentioning the football field because they have an excellent football team almost every year, it seems like. And for the ISD, here is how it's rated per texasschools.gov. Gets an 89 out of 100. Total enrollment, 11,358 students. Still on the small side compared to Austin ISD, which is almost 40,000, but a little bit bigger than Eanes ISD, which is in the 7,000s. Here's our demographics graph here in the middle. And on average, we have just under 17 students per teacher. From the schools, now we're going to go to my favorite part, is the golf courses. So the makeup of the Hills and Flintrock Falls, basically there are many tiers of membership at the Hills. So if you join the signature member at the Hills, you get 4 golf courses, and here they are right here. So here's the main course, the Hills Country Club. Then its sister course right here, Flintrock Falls, and then you also get Live Oak right here and Yopon right over here. So that's the signature level. And right now, it only costs $95,000. Now, yes, that's a lot of money, but if we compare it to Spanish Oaks, which is just down the road, in fact, it is right here, that's $200,000, and that's just for 18 holes. A more relevant comparison would be Barton Creek because you get 4 golf courses there too, and that's currently at $175,000. So this $95,000 initiation fee is quite good, relatively speaking, to the other country clubs in town. The tiers of membership, if you're in the signature level, you get all 4. You can join at just 3 golf courses, and that would exclude the Hills. You can join just 2, and that would exclude the Hills and Flintrock Falls, so that means you get Live Oak and Yopon. Then if you're not a golfer, of course, you can join as racket sports. They also have just a wellness package and then just a social package. So lots of levels of membership that you can find that will match what you're looking for. But let's talk about the Hills. I'm going to go on record and say that it is my favorite course in town, and here's why. The main reason why, I'll be honest, is that's where we played a lot of our college golf. When I was at UT, we practiced out there almost all the time up at the Academy of Golf. I spent many hours hitting out of bunkers and getting lessons from Bill Moretti. But this here hole is number 7 on the Hills, par 3. It's an absolutely spectacular hole. You're coming across that ravine, and you probably have a mid-iron to a long iron, depending what tees you're playing, and it's gorgeous. I've lost more than a handful of balls in the scenery over the years, but I always get excited to play that hole and that course for that matter. So this angle here is, you can see this roof up top. That's if you were sitting out on the back deck of the grill, and this bridge takes you over. To the left is number 1, it's a par 5, and then to the right is a par 3 coming into the grill there. So when your friends are hitting up and hitting onto the green, you can definitely heckle them and egg them on if they hit it close to the pin, or if they hit a terrible shot. You can also make fun of them while they're coming through the hole there. So it's a really cool spot to kind of sit and watch the golf. The 9 and 18 don't really come that close to the club, so you come back in at 6 and 14. 9 and 18 come close, but if you're walking, you wouldn't necessarily come back to the clubhouse. So you get close to it 4 times during the round, and that's pretty cool. It brings you back in, and you go over this creek, back and forth over the creek, and there's a few bridges out there like this one here in the picture. And here's just a better view of the actual patio. You can see the course in the background. That's the par 3 there. But it's a really fun spot to sit out there. And then on the weekends in the middle where everybody comes through, they sometimes even have live bands out there by the huge practice putting green. So they have a lot of social activities for kids, the family, the singles, the doubles, whatever you've got. They pay attention to all the segments of the population, and usually have something going on there on the weekends. Now we're gonna hop over to Flintrock Falls next, and both communities are gated communities, 24/7 manned security gates, but in the middle they connect with a fence. So if you're a member there, you can get a key fob and actually have a golf cart and drive to and from both golf courses because they're connected. Here is the pro shop for Flintrock Falls. Now the courses were built about 20 years apart, so you're gonna have different styles of both golf course and homes on the golf course because of that. The Hills was built in 1981, so I'm going to show you some real estate here in just a minute so you know what to expect, but by and large the homes were built in the 80s and 90s. Fast forward to Flintrock Falls, it was built in 2002, so the homes were started to be built in the early 2000s, and they're a lot newer on the Flintrock Falls side, so more often more expensive than the ones on the Hills, and that's just because they're newer, and a little bit bigger because as we have gotten newer, people build a little bit bigger. Here's a view out back on the deck at the Flintrock Falls Club as well. And it's a really pretty view here too. You can see how the terrain goes out over the hill country there. And here's a pretty view of one of the waterfall holes over at the Flintrock side. So here's a view over at the Live Oak course. It's going to have a little bit more trees over there, tree-lined fairways. So you're gonna have to hit a little bit straighter over at Live Oak. And lastly, Yaupon here has probably the most elevation of the 4 courses. So the Hills is going to be your signature course, then it's going to be Flintrock Falls, then Live Oak and Yaupon are going to be kind of interchangeable as far as skill levels go. They just have different types of kind of fairways and undulation between the 2 of them. And each course kind of has their own dining like theme. So one course might be like hamburgers, one barbecue, one fine dining, and things like that. So they all have their special little niche, so you can kind of go between them and never get bored of eating up at the club. As far as the social calendar goes, they do have wine and dine, they have men's tournaments, women's tournaments, they have kids events, kids tournaments, they have lessons during the summer, they have great pros out there to take lessons from. So if you're looking for a really golf friendly club, this is a really good one you should consider. From the golf course, now I'm going to show you what you can expect to find as far as homes to live in. Now, on the Hills side, I've already mentioned that they're just a bit older because the course was built in the early 80s as opposed to Flintrock side, which is in the early 2000s. So here is an example of a home on the Hills side. It is just over 3,300 square feet, listed for $1,249,000. It was built in 1989. And on the Hills side, you're going to typically have a more traditional looking home. This one doesn't back to the golf course. It is an interior lot, but it has a nice pool and, you know, almost right around 1/3 of an acre. So it has a nice size lot, but no panoramic views or golf course views, which would take that value up just a little bit higher. So on the Hills side, you're going to be under $2 million almost always, and really mostly under $1.5 million. Then over on the Flintrock Falls side, you're gonna have homes that go over $2 million. So back to this home, a nice open floor plan here, beautiful new floors they put in and opened up the kitchen there. So they've even, redone the cabinets and put in new light fixtures. So this one has been fixed up nicely. Our next example, this is a home that is just a little bit smaller, just over 2,700 square feet, and it's listed for $824,900. This one was built in 1993. So you can see how you can still find some good value out in the Lakeway area. This one is nice and bright on the inside. When we get to the kitchen, you can see here that it's still a little bit not on today's trend. You may love that color of granite, but if you're looking for something that kind of pops like that Pottery Barn or something that Joanna's doing on HGTV, these aren't the colors of granite that are currently being used, and that's one way you can get in a little bit cheaper. So if you put in a little elbow grease, change the counters, then the rest is up to you. Right now, everything is on that marble kind of look and less about this granite, but a beautiful home nonetheless. Great deals on the side of the hills. Now we're gonna hop over to the Flintrock Falls side. We're gonna start at the top and work our way down. This one, they're bigger. Remember I told you they're bigger on the Flintrock Falls side? This one's almost 5,500 square feet and half an acre. So that's what drives the price up a lot. It's just the sheer size. And then if we look how old, 2012. So much newer than the ones on the hills side. So listed just under $3 million. It's got the clay tile roof and more of that Tuscan feel. On the Flintrock Falls side, you're gonna see more of these homes that have the Tuscan vibe or a modern vibe. And this one also is on the golf course, so that also pumps up that value just a little bit more than if you were just on an interior lot. But this is a perfect example of what you can expect to find on the Flintrock Falls side. And I have noticed that there are more doors, that indoor-outdoor living on the Flintrock Falls side than the hills side. And that's just because those stores got more popular over the last 20 years instead of 40 years ago. The next option here is about similar size, but it's a little bit smaller lot at 0.3 acres instead of 0.5, listed for $2,220,000, built in 2005. Got the interesting exterior with that mixed texture. That is limestone, those dark little spotty rocks, if you will. It's the tobacco color, and that is, well known in this area. We have the white limestone and then this colored limestone too. So the pool here does look out over the green space, to the golf course. It's just a little bit older than the last one. That's why you can get a little bit better value. And then you can get in under $1 million on Flintrock Falls side. This here is a little condo that is not on the golf course. Some of them do front the golf course, some of them don't, and this one is not on the golf course side, but this one's just over 2,200 square feet, and it was built in 2010. There are a handful of these condos for sale right now, and you can see how they kind of stack up there along the course. Some of them actually back up to the golf course, and then these here are row back from the golf course, and they have all different conditions inside because some of them have been fixed up and some of them are still in their original form. And here's an example of this one's kitchen, just so you can get an idea of what they look like on the inside. And like I said, some of them will be completely redone and some of them will be just absolutely original materials from when they were first constructed by the builder. So those are the different examples of types of homes you're going to get. By and large, the hills side, the homes are less expensive because they're older, plain and simple. But on average, they're smaller on the hillside. Flintrock Falls, newer, bigger, brings the price point up. That's normal. Now that you know what the homes look like in the Hills and Flintrock Falls, I'm going to show you what's kind of in the area that you can go to. Here's the Hills main area here, and just right here is your H-E-B. H-E-B is your grocery store. You can get everything you need there, and across the street is a Randall's. So you're not far from a grocery at any point out in Lakeway. Then if we head back down towards town, a little bit back towards Austin, over here in this Hill Country Galleria area, you have another H-E-B and a Whole Foods market if you're looking for some more of the organic and things like that. H-E-B has it, but Whole Foods is a specialty store for that. As far as the Hill Country Galleria goes, you have absolutely everything you need in a shopping mall there. You have the big department stores, you have bakeries, you have coffee shops, you have small boutique clothing stores, you have gelato, which who doesn't love gelato? You You also have, you know, Dick's Sporting Goods, Twin Liquors. You have the cinema is in there as part of that. And then across the highway, so the Hill Country Galleria is right here. And then if we blow this up, right on the other side of 71, you have a ton more shopping over here. These are going to be more like your big box stores like Lowe's, Michael's, Home Goods, things like that. So if you need to get Mandola's, Old Navy, if you need to get any kind of shopping done, this area around the Galleria is a great place to get to. And it's only about 10 minutes from the hills. Inside this area, I'll point out Maudie's Tex-Mex. They have great food, great nachos, a banging margarita, and a really good queso. So Maudie's Tex-Mex is always a winner. It's an easy place to take an entire family if you have a large group as well. Then if you don't have the kids with you, then I would recommend this Grove Wine Bar. They have good food, but look at all the wine selection there. And then one of the main reasons I recommend it is this gorgeous view out back. So you can have a wonderful meal and sit out back and enjoy the hill country view while sipping on a beautiful glass of wine. We're gonna hop from restaurants over here to the Baylor Scott & White. Baylor Scott & White is an anchor in the community. So you no longer have to come all the way in town to go to the hospital. There have always been medical clinics and things in Lakeway, but as the last 10 years or so, Baylor Scott & White has moved in there and made a big impact in the area, and the residents now feel super confident that there's a full-on hospital in the neighborhood. So that has been a really big draw for a while now. Lots more people have really enjoyed moving out to the area, not worrying about being so far from the hospital. Then we're going back to a restaurant over here, Sundancer Grill. This is just a place if you want to get a burger, but it's cute there over on the water where the sailboats dock. And then here we were at Sundancer Grill, Lakeway Resort and Spa. It is a cool little staycation. They have beautiful tiered swimming pools, and it does overlook the lake. Here's the swimming pools at night, but this is the view from their balcony over the deep portion of the lake. So it's a great location, easy and convenient. There's a marina down at the bottom. You can rent boats there. You can rent jet skis. You can rent kayaks, paddle boards, the whole works. So the Lakeway Marina, here's a view where you can see both the pool and the lake there. So that's a really good spot if you have family coming into town to put them, or if you just want to have a little staycation there where you're kind of in the thick of it, right in the heart of Lakeway, and still really convenient to the hills and the restaurants and all the shopping and things. And lastly, one more little spot over here, Canyon Grill, one of my favorites. It's just cute, off the beaten path, but it overlooks the water, and also get a wonderful burger there. So you can see, let's talk about Lake Travis. I'm going to show you some video here in a minute, but you can see really easily from this picture here, it is not a constant level lake. Lake Travis fluctuates, and it depends how much rain we've gotten, or if we're in a drought, as to how much water is in the lake at any given time. All these rings around the edges, as you can see, these white rings, that's where the water has been. That's normal water line, where the trees stop growing there. We have had a drought for the last 2-3 years now, and our Lake Travis has about 40% water in it right now. So there are islands where there should not be islands. There are grass and trees growing in places in the middle of the lake that shouldn't be there, but the Lake Travis feeds the LCRA. The Lower Colorado River Authority uses that water for downstream projects, watering ranches, drinking water, all sorts of things. It's dammed at the Mansfield Dam, but they open it and let the water flow out to the people below. You'll see our lake in town, Lady Bird Lake, constant level. Lake above, Lake LBJ, constant level. Those keep as much water in there as they need. Lake Travis, it always depends on our weather patterns as to how full or how empty it is at any given time. Okay, so now I'm going to just give you the pros and cons, list them out for you, and I'm also going to show you that beautiful Lake Travis footage that I have. So the first pro is the beautiful setting. You're right next to Lake Travis. You have the rolling hill country, and there's animals everywhere. So you can take advantage of water skiing, fishing, sailing, big jet boats out there. You can do paddleboarding and kayaking if you want to do it. So it's not just all about the golf, and the golf is great too. And the second pro are the schools. You get an 89 out of 100 for Lake Travis ISD, and it's on the smaller side at just over 7,700 students. That's pretty good for an entire independent school district. Number 3 are the amenities and activities, and I'm going to show you the amenities for the country club right now. So I mentioned all the activities already, but it also has the infrastructure that's just amazing. This is the world of tennis right here. They have all of these outdoor courts, these 8 pickleball courts over here. Then they have indoor tennis courts, and they have a fitness center and multiple swimming pools, even more tennis courts that you can't see in this picture. It's called the world of tennis for a reason. A lot of people flock there to get into leagues and take lessons, and it's just a wonderful place for the tennis and racket sports lovers of the world. So here's a better picture of the tennis club. You can see how there's twice as many courts as we could see before. And then look at these cool swimming pools. You have one swimming pool in the shape of a tennis racket, and then you have your pool over here for the serious lane swimmers that need to do their laps. You have a small kiddie pool over here, and then you have a slide right there for the kids to use. So it is really, really family friendly. There is something to do for everyone. In addition to that, you have more little villas over here that house their own tennis courts. And then just to the next door to it, you have the community swim center and the swim park, and they even have a skate park over here where you can go with your skateboards or rollerblades or razors and scooters, even your bikes and things like that. So it's pretty cool. And they even have more extensive slides and kids' toys and things for them to play with over here. So there is lots and lots to do. And don't forget, they have an extensive fitness center with classes and pro shops for the tennis, for the fitness. So everything you think you might want in a country club, it is right out there at the Hills. So the country club is right here, and the world of tennis is over here. So if you had a golf cart, you could get to everything. You don't need to be in a car, but it's a little bit farther than just a walk, unless of course you're out for an exercise. And if you have a small plane, you can always fly into their little Lakeway Air Park right here. The little Cessnas can get in there pretty easily. So if you're a pilot and want to bring your own plane in, you can certainly do that in Lakeway. All right, back to the pros. The fourth one, a 24/7 manned security gate on both the Hills side and the Flintrock Falls side. And the last one, if you're into the outdoor lifestyle, there are even more things to do than what we've discussed today. They have water parks, the Lakeway Park, and I don't mean water park like Schlitterbahn, I mean a park next to the water. It has a big, expansive area where you can swim, and it has like basketball courts, volleyball courts, things like that. You've got nature hiking trails all throughout. So if you're into the outdoors, Lakeway is an A+ spot for you. Now, what's not so great? What are the cons about living at the Hills? First of all, traffic can be a bear sometimes. 620 is one of the only roads that goes through it right here, and when it is busy at rush hour time, it's hard to get on the road. It's hard to pull out. You definitely want to pull out where there's a stoplight, but other than that, it's not so bad. It's just really busy at rush hour. The second con is that lake levels fluctuate. We've already talked about that a little bit, so I don't need to bore you with the details, but sometimes if you have a house on the water and you have a boat dock here, they all have to be floating boat docks, because if the water goes way down, your boat dock may go out 100 feet for you, and sometimes you'll see boat docks just on the rocks. So it's something that you have to consider if you're actually considering buying on the water. And lastly, it's pretty quiet at night. If you're looking for a big late night lifestyle, Lakeway's probably not your thing. Probably want to stick a little bit closer to Austin, but if you want to be out where it's just a little bit more subdued but still plenty to do, then this might be the perfect fit for you at the Hills. So that's a wrap. The Hills and Flintrock Falls sister courses with Live Oak and Yopon to follow up. If you want all 4 courses, that's the signature level. You've seen the types of houses that are available in the area. You do not have to live inside the gate to be a member. It's just a perk if you want to be in the gated community. If you want to see some of these houses in person, then all you have to do is call, text, send us an email, set up a Zoom call, because we're always available to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. If you have a friend that you think might like the Hills, share this video with them. We'd love you for it. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others. I can't wait to see you around town.